After waiting a couple of weeks, my Radio Shack 12-587 has arrived. I was very excited until I put the batteries in and found it was not hacked. So I looked it up on how to hack this. I was not quite sure, was this the original Radio Shack or the revised version, which has a ribbon, has a different circuit. But it turned out it was the old model, and I'm going to show you how I hacked this in a few minutes. After taking out the screws, which I didn't need to show you because everybody knows how to take out screws, with a small Phillips screwdriver, there's a screw there, there and there. It is now time to take the back off. Right, the back is now off. This circuit here corresponded with a video that I seen of hacking the old model, and one of the things that I had seen that made me think that this is the old model was this chip in the middle here. Now there's two circuit boards on this. There's two of them. This looks very scary. After all, it is a very expensive radio to buy these days. But there is there's a hole there where that screw from this goes right down through. But holding this circuit board on is three screws, one here, here and here. So I'm going to take those out now. To a lot of people this looks very scary because it does. The Radio Shack 587 originally was a very cheap radio, you know, it's just a cheap pocket radio, but because paranormal investigators found out that you can hack these, they've gone up very much in price. Very expensive. Right, we've got the three screws out. Now this board, you can just about see this black area here, and you'll see the bent pin that I bent earlier on, but I'm going to gently remove that circuit from the second board. Now here we have the pins in bunches of two. The one we are concentrating on is, you can see it right there, is the top left hand first pin, and you can see that it is bent, just bent over. People say you need to cut it off. You do not need to cut it off, you just need to bend it over out of the way, and there is where it slots into. You just gently put it back in on its place. Making sure that they line up again. It's back in. That's it. So that is it. It's the top left pin that you just bend on. Well, you don't put the screw back into that top one. I made that mistake earlier. So you put your screws back in. I wasn't quite sure if this was going to be the new version or the old version. The new version, right? The new version, instead of having those pins, they have a strip of, see where this black area is? There's little solders, little dots of solders, and underneath is a ribbon connecting this circuit board to the second one, but on this version it is quite simple. You just bend over that pin, that's all you do. Right, when you have the circuit board wires on, if you have one of these, some people don't like these and they take them off, but if you're putting it back on, it's now time to do so. And there's a little clip at the top of the top of the box there. You clip that in, making sure that all the wires are inside the case, that you don't nip the wires. And then you just basically all them. That is there's actually the 3 screws. This is the longest screw. This one goes through the top part of the circuit board, so you put the longest screw back in here, you know. Actually, when I got this, I kind of had a feeling it was the old model, because it was so scratched and dirty, and I spent ages polishing out some of the scratches in the plastic. So, you know, I kind of had a feeling that this was the old model, and I was pretty lucky. There is videos on YouTube how to hack the new version, and I think that involves soldering 2 wires close to the connections of the ribbon connector and attaching a switch to the side. But thankfully, in this case, I didn't have to do that. So back in batteries. Unlock button at the side. Press.
Closed last year.
Hello.
Are you ready? Try light.
Volumes at the side.
Club.
This actually isn't the best hacked radio out there. It actually, the hack isn't 100%, because sometimes the actual scan actually stops. But it is renowned to be the best hacked radio out there. Well, that and the PSP7. I'm not a fan of the PSP7. I call it the noise box. But this one here, the speaker isn't that brilliant, but you can put an external speaker on it. Every so often it does stop scanning. You have to press it again, but it's the results that it gives that has given this radio its reputation that it has. So I just thought I would do this video. I know there's hundreds of videos out there on how to hack this radio, but you know, some of them are straightforward, some of them are not. I just thought I would give you my version of it. Was very excited to get the Spirit box finally. But pretty disappointed when I found out it was not hacked. but it all turned out well in the end, and I actually hacked this in Rachel's house while looking at a YouTube video, and it took me a couple of minutes, but that's how this one was hacked. I will see you in the next video, folks, and I look forward to using this an awful lot more. It is a lot more compact than some of the radios that I have. So if you like this video, give it the thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.